gain more experience. They get exposed to more English instruction. So I highly emphasize these type of community service projects in practicum programs. Okay, other component that which I highly emphasize action research, again in practicum, practice teaching courses. Teachers are researchers. They need to know how to conduct action research in their classrooms. Kenan Dikilitaş is working on this issue for a long time. I appreciate his work on this. Why is action research important? Why is it important? It is a must for professional development, and it is a must to improve the quality of instruction in your own classrooms. When there is a problem, or if there is a problem, it is a way to solve that problem. As teachers, as foreign language teachers, we need to be familiar with action research concept, how to implement, how to conduct action research in our classrooms, to improve ourselves professionally, plus to improve the quality of instruction in our classrooms. So in our practice teaching program, every senior student has an action research project, and in their practicum schools, they go observe, collect data, and then they present their findings at the end. They also present the results at the action research conferences in different universities. So again, teachers are researchers. Teachers are action researchers. The teachers should be able to see their problems critically and know how to approach those problems. Okay, as you see that our, again, 2 years ago at Bahçeşehir University, our student teachers are sharing their research results in a poster session. And as you see that, they also know, they improve their presentation skills, they share their results, they kind of develop their ownership to the profession, their language identity, the teacher identity is also affected by this type of experiences. Empowerment, ownership are the concepts which lie between action research. Another learning experience we emphasize in our program is team teaching. What is team teaching? Professional learning is created between the teacher educator and the student teachers, prepares them for peer-supported learning for the rest of their careers. Peer teaching, but now we have a kind of implementation. In this implementation, there is a state school in Sarıyer. Only 2 teachers and 2 hours of English instruction is provided to the students. In this project, as you see in this photograph, my students and I team taught. We taught together at a 3rd grade class every Wednesday from 1 to 3. So again, there was an agreement between Sarıyer İlçe Milli Eğitim Müdürlüğü and the university. So apart from the practice teaching experience at private schools or state schools, this was an additional work we did in the class. So I was a teacher 2 years ago, and my students, we were the teachers at the same time we taught the class, the 4th grade class. There were 24 students in the classroom, and 5 to 6 teachers, I mean, my students and I, and it definitely created very rich environment for the students, because the students in the 4th grade received input from different people. And in one of the groups, of course, it was at the same time for the students, it was effective. We gave attention, we provided help to each student in the class. What was important, as you see that in the teacher's room, we were getting ready for the lesson. Again, our student teachers are getting ready for the lesson in the teachers' room. As you see that, teaching together. So what was the advantage? What was the benefit, of this experience for the student teachers, for me as a teacher educator, and also for the students, plus for the English teachers at that school? It's a rich experience for each of us. The prospective teachers gain more experience. I also gain experience as a teacher educator, teaching in a state school. The other teachers at that school, the in-service teachers, English teachers, we collaborate each other. We share materials. There's no competition. We share, we work together, we learn from each other. What about the students in the 4th grade? I mean, we try to give them a rich atmosphere, environment to gain the language. As you see that, you see the advantages, the benefits. Each part of the school community gains it. So again, real experience, authentic, and we need to increase these type of opportunities in our practicum courses. Practicum courses do not only visiting a class, sitting at the back, and doing the work and presenting, teaching the class. No, we need to enrich the opportunities in our practice teaching courses. So responsive teacher education program, this is what I understand. This is what I understand from the term. Responsive. Responsive to what? Responsive to the community. Responsive to the student teachers. Responsive to the teacher educators. Responsive to everyone in the system. So what principles should shape teacher education programs and practices? Maintaining close connections with schools. We need to cooperate with them. We need to appreciate their service. Without collaborating with schools, we cannot achieve anything. Valuing reflection, underlying reflection, sustaining communication among teacher educators, mentor teachers, and student teachers. Every semester, at the end of the practicum course, we have an end of semester evaluation. All the student teachers, mentor teachers, everyone in the system are invited to an event. Our next event will take place on May the 16th, Thursday, from 2 to 5. We are going to discuss the strengths and weaknesses. So we will have a chance to revise the program and again, to meet the needs of the students. Now we have a new, we are working on MEBIS. We are going to discuss MEBIS. How do in-service teachers function? How do they evaluate? What are responsibilities in this online teacher evaluation system called MEBIS? So I think we are all open to any changes as long as the society, the students, our student teachers can benefit from this. Helping student teachers to become a strong community of learners, right? And this is also one of the aims of the teacher education programs. Supporting continuous learning, supporting lifelong learning. That's our aims, we still learn. Okay, now this is the end, but I would like to open the floor for questions, for further discussion. Questions from our student teachers, mentor teachers, supervisors, my colleagues. Let's discuss. Yes, Aydan Hoca. Yes. Right. There will be a panel discussion. So the mentor teachers, head of the departments will be invited to the panel. And the topic of the panel will be MEBİS ve öğretmen değerlendirmesi. The panel will be in Turkish. Our partners, the teachers, student teachers, will be talking at this panel. And then question and answer session will follow the panel. Our student teachers who are involved in this Sarıyer project, ders arası girme odası, will receive their certificate. So there will be an appreciation from the Sarıyer İlçe Milli Eğitim Müdürlüğü. That's the main topic. Specific topic. We pick a topic and then work on it in detail and then write a report and sending a report and plus next year revising the program accordingly. Plus at the same time we develop our relationship with schools because they need this. It's a kind of thank you for them. Yes, yes, yeah. What else? From the student teachers here, I think any questions in terms of your practicum experience? Is it a fruitful experience for you? Can we hear your voice also at Avant İzzet Baysal University? Yes, please. If you come to Istanbul, of course. But I mean, normally the meeting is open for the faculty, our practicum schools. In-house meeting. Because we have a limited space. What else? Would you like to share your experiences with us in terms of what you do in your practicum? Practice teaching courses, for instance, any useful experiences that you would like to share with us? Yes. They reacted so positively. They were very proud, and because so many teachers were working on their kids, so many teachers were giving care to their kids. So they were all very excited. I mean, it's a great, wonderful thing in life to see the lights in their eyes. I mean, because we give support to each other. I mean, collaboration is something, you can never, imagine that. It can create miracles. Support, working together, cooperation, I mean, great experience. Yeah. Yeah, it is time at the beginning maybe kind of nervous, but time passes, they get used to that. As long as you build that positive relationship, there is nothing to worry about. But you need to present yourself so that they feel comfortable. I mean, it's up to you. Yes. Yes, yes. Yeah, why not? I mean, team teaching, I mean, of course, 6 is a lot, I mean, for my course. I mean, but what about 2? Yeah, why not? Yes. In the class. Right, yes. If you design it well, if those teachers know their responsibilities, if they know, how to conduct their portion, it's a richness for the students because they get more attention. But of course, you need to design the school, of course, the environment should be appropriate for those settings. downsides of downsides, as long as those two teachers know their aims, as long as they support each other positively, there's no downside. I don't think so, as long as they know how to work together. You know, those positive conditions, it would be a great benefit. For instance, there are some immersion programs in the States. I mean, French immersion program in, for instance, Wisconsin. Two teachers together, but the students, I mean, here also, the target language from two teachers, so there are more opportunities to listen to the target language from the teachers. So I think rich exposure to the language is provided. But as I mentioned that every setting is different, every context is different. If a practice is working well somewhere else, it doesn't mean that we are going to get the same positive result. No, you need to know your aims, needs, and then tailor the program. But my opinion, why not? I mean, if the classroom, if the school welcomes or suitable for those types of settings, why not? I emphasize collaboration, cooperation, and dedication to the work. Yes? Thank you. Mentor teachers, if the mentor teachers really would like to work with the student teachers, yes. But first of all, they should be willing to work with the mentor teachers. They should be willing. I mean, working with mentor teachers, of course, you need to follow certain criteria. I mean, teaching experience, availability, his or her willingness, or his or her voluntary service to the practice teaching courses. But maybe there's a hidden reality. But when in-service teachers work with student teachers, there's a two-way information sharing. I mean, the mentor teachers learn from the student teachers, and of course, student teachers learn more from the mentor teachers. But we shouldn't forget that this experience is also very valuable for mentor teachers, even though maybe they are not aware of it. It's a very rich process. But again, when choosing the mentor teachers, you need to follow a certain criteria. Not everyone can be a mentor teacher, but also we always propose that mentor teachers should receive training in this area. They need to receive training so that they can feel ready to work with the teachers. Because there are, based on my observation, giving feedback requires certain techniques. You need to how to give a constructive feedback. I mean, if you just give the feedback saying that this is good, this is bad, I mean, how are you going to establish that conversation with the student teachers so that the student teacher will think about his or her own practice? Giving feedback is not only talking about or giving advice or criticizing the classroom. You need to make the student teachers think about her practice. So that's why it requires training. Observation is, yeah. Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Right. Definitely. Supervisors too. Supervisors too. I mean, supervisors should, having a teaching experience. For instance, my experience in the 4th grade classroom. I can continue that. But because of the time restrictions, of course, I cannot do that. But supervisors should have a teaching experience. Otherwise, you cannot do it. It's not realistic to be a supervisor if you don't have a teaching experience. So yes, teaching experience. So I think we should give more time, teaching in state schools. Yeah. Yes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sumru, for this amazing speech. And now we have 15 minutes of coffee break.
Hello. Yes. Okay, it's working.
Okay, welcome back. Now we have Professor Dr. Amanda Yeşilbursa. I would like to introduce her. Originally from the UK, Professor Dr. Amanda Yeşilbursa has been involved in ELT and teacher education for 30 years. She has taught students of all ages and levels from kindergarten to postgraduate in contexts as varied as Taiwan, the UK, and Turkey. She gained her postgraduate degrees in ELT from Gazi University and currently holds the position of full professor at Bursa Uludağ University. Her research interests include reflective practice and English language teacher education. We would like to invite Professor Dr. Amanda Yeşilbursa to the stage to deliver her speech on in-service and prospective teachers working together to shape the future of ELT in Turkey, Practicum as a working context. The stage is yours, hocam. Here you go.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I think you can hear me. Oops. Okay, that was dangerous. You're setting traps for me. Okay. Right, first of all, I'd just like to say, most of you probably know that I used to work here for 12 years between the years 2003 to 2014. And I must say that I'm extremely proud of Anıl and Sedat Hocalar, really. Extremely proud. They're like my brothers and sisters, really. They've done such excellent work. I was very sorry to leave here in 2014, but such are things. I'm now in Bursa Uludağ University, the one in Bursa. In a way, I had to go, though, with having a surname of Yeşilbursa. Most people thought I was at Uludağ anyway. So I thought, well, just rather than explaining all the time, no, actually, I'm in Bolu, I thought, well, I might just go there, okay? It's going to make my life a lot easier, okay? So that's what I did. It's also very exciting to be here because Abantizet Baysal University is where I grew up, okay? Not literally grew up because I was well into my 30s when I came here, but where I grew up as an academician and as a teacher educator. Okay, so I came here in 2003 as an instructor, and I left here in 2014 as an associate professor. Okay, so this is kind of a journey from classroom number 214 to the Bordeaux Salon, and that makes me really happy. Okay, thank you very much for letting me be here. So, right, this is going to challenge me semantically, isn't it? Let's have a look. Right, in-service prospective teachers working together to shape the future of ELT in Turkey. Actually, we've got prospective teachers, in-service teachers, but also I have added, and this is not just because Aydan Hoca said this in the previous thing there, I've also added teacher educators as well, because we can't just keep ourselves out of this context. Okay, we do more than just coming up here saying do this and do that. Okay, we have a very key role in this cyclic process. So even though it's not in the title, it is in the presentation. Okay, so to shape the future of Turkey. So we're talking, Gölge Hoca talked about the vision of 2023. So as we will see, the future of ELT in Turkey is a very, very different picture to what it was, certainly when I first came here. For maybe a lot of the teachers, it's a very, very different picture. Okay, so I want to focus on that, the future picture. What does it look like? And what are our roles in that picture, in that, you know, the new context? If you were at Gazi last weekend, you're going to think, oh, she talked about this last week, lazy, okay? It's not. It starts off kind of similar, but it develops in a different way. Okay, so some of it's going to be familiar with you, others are not. Anyway, here we go. An overview then. Right, future expectations. There are global expectations. I'm going to talk a little bit about what are these global expectations of teachers in general. Okay, because Turkey is not separate from what is happening in the rest of the world. I'm going to touch a little bit on English as an international language. Now, this is not my field of study, and I know Yasemin Bayurt Hoca, this is her area, but she's not able to be here today. But I'm going to talk about it in general because this is a very crucial part of ELT that we can't look over. Again, Aydan Hoca talked about these programs, how we always blame the program. So I'm going to touch on the programs again, but in a slightly different way. Okay? What you might find is that all of the speakers today are going to touch on very similar things. Okay, remember, this is a good thing actually because these are important. Okay, if 6 people come up here and talk about the same things, it's not because we're lazy or anything, or we've copied each other. Okay, looked over the shoulder, what you say, okay. It's because they're important. and they're obviously worthwhile talking about. And then I'm going to look at this practicum as a working context, where we're looking at cooperative teachers, the cooperating teachers, or the mentor teachers, the in-service, the prospective teachers, and also our teacher educators as well. How does this interaction between these three parties in the practicum context help to develop the teachers, both in-service teachers and prospective teachers, and how can that take us forward? Okay, we have to take us forward. You know, Aydan just says we're still here in grammar translation, we've not been able to get out of that. It's high time we did. What can we do to get that in motion? Okay, global expectations of teachers. Okay then, Turkey is an OECD country, as you know, and we're always being described in terms of where are we in the OECD means and averages and things. So let's have a look in general. So this is from one of the OECD documents. Okay, we've memorized these. We can't do without that. Right, this is what's very critical now, constantly developing teaching knowledge base. Okay, up until recent times, the teaching knowledge base was kind of similar. Okay, you know, we could learn what our teachers learned and we carried on with that kind of knowledge in order to be a teacher. But that's not so now. Okay, there are masses and masses of research out there telling us all sorts of different things about what teaching is, what effective teaching is, how to you know, encourage learning in learners. Okay, so it's changing rapidly. Okay, and we have to keep up with that. And it's the same in Turkey as well. We're taking things, obviously we take things from international research, but we also produce our local research as well to help the local scene change. So this is changing rapidly. We cannot now deal with, you know, continue our profession on what we learnt 10 or 20 years ago, okay, for all of us. Another thing is this 21st century skills. Okay, Gölge Hoca talked about these 21st century skills. Okay, there's a whole different set of skills out there that we as teachers have to be able to use. Okay, so it's no good really saying, well, I can't use a word processor, so, you know, I'll write it in by hand. We've got, you know, we have to get out of that. We've got all this technology we have these different skills that we have to develop: communication, critical thinking, collaboration, creativity. Those are the 4 C's that you remember there. And going on with this then in hand is we have rapidly changing educational systems. Now, Turkey has a particularly rapidly changing education system, doesn't it? It seems to be, oh, it's changed again. Okay, right. So what does it, you get used to that? There's another one coming. Okay, this is maybe, yani burası Türkiye hocam, ne yapalım? Okay, but it's also similar in other European countries as well. Things are changing all the time. I'd like to give another example. Okay, it's not about English and it's not in Turkey, but for example, for years, the UK looked to the Chinese method of teaching mathematics as a really, you know, they're effective. Look, Chinese students are really good at maths. We should look at how the Chinese teachers teach their students, and we should teach our students like that. Okay, so, yeah, okay, Chinese students, UK, it's not going to work. Okay, it's not good. It didn't work. Okay, it didn't work. But what happens now is even China is reflecting on the way they teach maths, and they realize that their traditional way of teaching mathematics is not in keeping with 21st century skills. Okay, so what we think is really effective 1 year might suddenly be proved not to be so. We've got to keep up with the times. Okay. We've got increasingly diverse classrooms. Okay, we're living in very unstable times. We have, for example, in Turkey, in England, we've had all sorts of refugees coming from Somalia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, everywhere. Turkey, now we're experiencing that. Maybe you have Syrian students in your class. Okay, so that's a diversity. Actually, it's an advantage if you think about it. But my students don't know Turkish. How can I teach them English? Great, that's, you know. You just answered your question. They don't know Turkish. Perfect. Okay. Diverse classrooms, not just in terms of language and culture, but also, for example, special education students. Inclusive classrooms are becoming more common. Okay, only last week one of my students came to me and I said, teacher, for my, what do you call it, vocational service. Okay, what do you call it, yeah? Toplum hizmet. Community service, that's the word. I know the Turkish, I don't know the English. Okay, whatever. For my community service, I'm teaching a blind student. Okay, he's completely blind. What can I do? Okay, so I'm like, whoa, okay. I've never taught a blind student. I have no experience, but I have to think. Okay, what do I know about teaching English? What do I know about, okay? You know, I was able to think and at least give her some guidance on that. Okay, telling her, well, you know, you're going to be focusing on listening and speaking, sounds, you're not going to be looking at reading or anything, so that kind of thing. So, yes, diverse classrooms, children with different abilities that we need to be able to deal with. Parental demands. Okay, all the teachers will be, okay, parents, they are, I am one. Okay. I think I'm quite a calm parent, but parental demands are changing, in particular related to foreign language teaching as well with English. Okay, maybe 10, 20 years ago, the old school system of, how do you say it in Turkish? Eti sizin hocam, kemiği benim. Okay, it doesn't work anymore. Okay, we don't just leave our schools, that we go, okay, how are they doing, what are they doing, you know, how are they learning English, are you doing this, blah, blah, blah. And if you know something about, if you have some knowledge of English, then you're going to be even more concerned. Okay, so as a teacher, this can be, you know, quite stressful. Okay, can't it? I'm sure the teachers are going, yeah, okay. You might get some strange responses. Hocam, you don't have a laboratory. How can they go learn English without a language laboratory? Okay. All right, okay, so parental demands are increasing and changing and putting a lot of stress on you as teachers. Okay. Right, and related to this then, again, so these are the global expectations. What have we done about this locally? We have this education vision of 2023, which is one way that we're trying to bring Turkey into line with the rest of the world on these matters. Okay, so those are the global expectations. Let's have a look at English as an interlanguage. Okay, this is a new word, you didn't know that, did you? Okay, language is a special kind of word when, okay, right. Right, we're very creative. Who says that the U should be there before the A? I wanted to do something differently, so I put the A before the U. Okay. Do you think I got away with that one? You know me? Okay, right, okay. English as an international language. Now, this is really, really important, I think, okay, because this is what we are teaching. And the nature of English as an international language is going to affect how we teach it and how our learners are going to learn this. So, what do I mean then? Well, first of all, English is not just spoken by the English anymore. Okay, I have to admit that. Okay, not everybody speaks with an outrageous British accent. They don't have to. English doesn't even belong to the Americans or the Australians anymore. There are all sorts of different kinds of Englishes. Okay, world Englishes. Even, not just world Englishes, but regional differences as well. Okay, English, any language is the same, but because English is so commonly used all over the world by communication, we have a lot of diversity here. Okay. And another thing that is important, that English is not separate from other languages. English is there. This is why I chose this picture. Okay, we've got thank you there. We've also got, you know, Greek. There's some Turkish there, but it's hidden behind the thing. Sol. Okay. English is there together with other languages. English is not going to push out other languages. That's one fear. I remember 10, 15 years ago. Oh, if we learn English, then we will forget Turkish and we will forget our national identity. We shouldn't learn English. Like, come on, okay, no. English is not pushing you out. English is there with you together, okay? It's one of your linguistic tools. It's there. And English is always constantly being affected by other languages. Isn't it? If you look at English, a majority is another language anyway. Okay, just as much as we give to other languages, that we take that much from them. Very flexible. Yes. Yeah. Okay. You know who I am now, I can take that off, okay? Right. Good. Is that better now? Okay then. Right, you're welcome. Okay. Oh, it's me waving my hands around even. Okay. Nasıl? Okay. Right. The next one, the issues of ownership. As I said that before. Okay. English, as I said a little bit before, does not belong to the English anymore. Even though the Brexiteers might not think that. Okay. English does not belong to English anymore. It doesn't belong to the Americans. It doesn't belong to the Australians. English belongs to whoever needs it, whoever uses it in any aspect of their life. So even your 6th grade little boy who plays Minecraft, okay, English is his as well, isn't it? Okay, but yeah, okay, so, and that's an advantage for us. Actually, kids are becoming more exposed to English. It's not like it used to be. Okay, so we can say that English belongs to anybody who needs it. That's good. Okay. Right, okay, they've sort of flipped around. Okay, never mind. Let me go on to the first one up here. Okay, so as I say, that English doesn't belong to English people or native speakers anymore. This idea then is we're moving away from native speaker norms. You don't have to speak with a crystal cut British accent. You don't have to speak with an American accent. If you want to, you can. That's a completely different personal matter. Okay? English, you know, the call for native speakers isn't what it used to be. Okay? Non-native speakers, in fact, you are the majority of them. Okay? The majority is non-native speakers. You know, the native speaking standards are not the same anymore. And in fact, we can even say, does EFL really exist anymore because of the 21st century skills? Remember, we always used to say, but in Turkey, they only ever get exposed to English in the classroom. When they go outside, they don't see any English at all. But we don't, so that's why it was English as a foreign language. But now, it's not the case. Okay, the Minecraft example. Okay, students are continually on the computers playing games, on social media, and a lot of the input, a lot of the things they will see there is going to be in English. So even we just, you know, can we talk about English as a foreign language anymore? Okay, so this is why English as an international language. So what are our roles then as teachers? It's our aim then, we need to prepare students as competent users. Okay, competent, communicatively competent. Okay, users of English as an international language, and they need to use that with English users from various linguistic and cultural backgrounds. Okay, so that's what we're aiming to for. That's what we talked about before in the program. Okay, that's our aim. Right. The next thing then, English language programs. Aydan talked about this a little bit, quite a lot actually, with the program, okay? Now, I also give a great deal of importance to the program, okay? In my teacher education classes, I like my students to know what the program is. Why? Again, this is kind of self-reflection, reflection on experience. Quite a few times when we have these master's examinations, for students who want to take a master's degree, we have an interview, and then we ask questions, and it comes up in the interview. But teacher, the program is just really bad. Okay, we want to do things, we want to put what we want to do, we learn in the campus, but when we go to schools, you know, the program is just really bad. And I said, well, why is it bad? Tell me something, why is it bad? Because it's grammar translation. Okay. Okay, said, well, have you actually seen the program? Okay. Tell me, have you seen it? Well, how do you know it's bad then? How do you know it's grammar translation? Well, my cooperating teacher told me it was. Okay. Just draw the line there. If you're going to be a teacher, you look at the program yourself. Aydan Hoca said these programs are just so widely available to anybody on the internet. If you're a teacher and you're getting your education here in Turkey, in one of the faculties of education, and you're going to be employed in a Ministry of National Education school, then you need to know what the program is. If you're going to criticize it, know what you're criticizing. Okay, you know that. And it's the same for teachers as well. Let me have a quick look then. So this communicative approach thingy. Lots of people say, yeah, hocam, these new things like communicative approach, it doesn't work with us. These newfangled ideas. Communicative approach, new. Yeah, and it's at least 40 years old, isn't it? It's been around for 40 years old at least. Now, okay, now 40 is not new. I mean, I'd like to think it was, but it's not. Okay, it's definitely not new. In Turkey, the communicative approach was first introduced in 1998. So we've had a communicative program since 1998. Okay. Then this was developed in 2006 by Aydan Hoca, Vahit Hoca, Pasha Hoca from Gazi University, Bena Hoca. They worked very hard and they developed this. And this was the first time that the program actually was based on theory for a first time. How do young learners learn? How do adolescents learn? Okay. It had a theoretical basis adapted to European Union standards. Okay, then we had this 4+4+4 thingy in 2012. And from that, again, the new program, 2004 and 2018, again, remember rapidly changing education systems. I think the most recent one was 2018, but it's still based on English as an international language. Okay, it's based around the CEFR. It aims for communicative competence. It's a very skills-based course, integrated skills, especially listening and speaking. It's based on 21st century skills as well. Okay, blended learning, technology integration in the classroom. Okay, there's nothing traditional about the program. There's no grammar translation there. We need to know that. Okay. Right. Okay, I want to start off here. Again, this is something that we've been talking about quite a lot today. Now, this quote is attributed to John Dewey. We don't know if he said it or not, but this nice picture was taken from when I went to Trabzon a month ago, and one of the, I'll write to put a name here, one of the Year 4 students drew this. Okay, she had this drawing talent, which I think was very nice. It was exhibited there in the faculty. And but whether John Dewey said it or not, okay, I will say that. Nice picture of him. And I think it's important. If we teach today's students as we taught yesterday's, we rob them of their tomorrow. Okay, we have to do something different. Okay, we have to. Okay, if we really want to get on, if we really want to take a part in the international arena in the future, we have to do something. And that's everybody. That's pre-service teachers, in-service teachers, and teacher educators. Okay, we've just got to do things differently. Okay, Gölge Hoca talked about this as well. I want to emphasize this again, the key role of the teacher. So you can have this absolutely fantastic program, okay, which is based on all these theoretical backgrounds. It's got no loopholes in it or anything. And then what happens, okay, the program is not teaching material. You cannot teach looking at the program. It's a philosophical, abstract document. But what we do is we develop materials based on the program. And as, again, Aydan Hoca will tell you, this is a very painful process, isn't it? Trying to, prepare that material that it fits in exactly. Okay, so you can have this well-prepared material. Then we can come up with this fantastic lesson plan, because we learn how to do lesson plans at school, and we know how to do that. And then we teach it. Okay, however, unless, okay, the teacher is the crucial role here. Okay, if we can have the most fantastic program, the most fantastic materials, but if our mindset is not in that way to take us forward, the program, the material, is just a waste. Okay, and the students don't learn anything. And when the students don't learn anything, the teacher becomes demoralized. Okay, as we will see in a little minute here. Okay, so this is why teachers are extremely important. So let's have a look at this practicum then as a working context. So I'm not going to talk about practicum as such. Sumru Hoca talked about the process there when it is and everything. I want to look at these three elements of the working context then. So what we have here, we have our three elements here. We've got our cooperating teacher who's situated in the school with real students and real classroom and real parents. Okay. We have the teacher educator who's situated quite nicely in the university up here. Okay, keeping our hands clean. Okay. And we have the prospective teachers who are sort of like coming back and forwards, aren't they? They're spend most of the time in the university, then in the final year, they're a kind of a bridge between the university and the school. Okay, this is where they see real things happen. So you can see there's a potential here for interaction. Interaction means learning, okay, effective interaction leading on to learning for everybody here. Okay, so if we're going to take each of these one by one. Now, cooperating teachers, Kenan Hoca talked quite a lot about continual professional development for practicing teachers. So I want to skip over that a little bit. Okay, you know, what they bring to the process is they bring examples of real situated classroom practice, what really goes on in there. Okay, they provide an insider perspective on the realities of classroom teaching for students. Okay, well, this is what really goes on. This is what really happens. Okay. And they can also, again, very good practical tips for what actually works in the classroom. We have to admit it, a lot of the things that we teach up here on campus don't always translate very well in practical terms. Okay, so cooperative teachers there can actually say what happens. They should have their own teaching philosophy, okay, of what they do and why it works as well. If they're reflective as well, they can think about what they're doing. I'm going to do this. It works. Why does it work? It works because of this. Why doesn't it work? Okay, so they can provide that. But as we said before, the practicum is not just cooperating teachers giving things to the prospective teachers. You can also take something out of the process yourself. Okay, so again, here it's an opportunity to reflect on your own practice. When you have somebody watching you there, you start to think, what am I doing? Okay, and you're giving feedback, you're talking with your students. That gives you an amazing opportunity to actually think about it. Why am I doing that? Okay, do I look like that? Is that what I appear to be doing? Okay, again, it's an opportunity for professional development. Now, I know that teachers, you have a lot of in-service training programs, don't you, where you usually go somewhere nice, okay, for a week or two, and somebody comes and tells you something, but it's very, very general. Okay, Pinar is here, aren't you? Where's Pinar? Yes, okay, Pinar, when she was researching the FARTI project in English language teaching, one of the criticisms the teachers gave said, okay, we got educated, we got training for the FARTI project, but it was general. We were English and maths teachers all together. We didn't get content-specific, field-specific training. Okay, so with teaching practice then, you have got in situ teacher development opportunities. Okay, you can develop yourself while you're working, okay, with cooperating teachers and teacher educators as well. And I think I did this in red because red is important, isn't it? And also to remind me to say something about this. Opportunity to become familiar with innovations in the field. Okay, what did we say before? The teacher knowledge base is changing rapidly. There are rapid changes in the educational system. How much knowledge do we have that? Through teaching practice, by interacting with new young teachers, young pre-service teachers, we can have some kind of idea of what's going on. We often hear that from our cooperative teachers. Yeah, I love it when the teachers come. I get all these ideas for material. Okay, in my time, we didn't have these courses. We didn't have teaching young learners. We didn't have these skills courses. We have no idea, so it's great that the students are coming in with material. Okay, so that's an example of how cooperating teachers can develop themselves. They can keep in contact with what's going on a little bit more. Okay, prospective teachers, I want to talk a little bit more about that. Now, Kenan just talked a little bit about identity development. Okay, so identity, what is our identity? What is part of our identity? So I'm going to focus on our prospective teachers, because this is the kind of thing I'm a little bit more interested in. Now, we know when you come here for 3 years, at least you have a lot of pedagogical knowledge input, don't you? You have language knowledge, you have pedagogical content knowledge, okay? You have practical knowledge as well, methodological knowledge, okay? But that's not just it. Knowing something doesn't mean that you can do something. There's a very important part, okay? Not just the cognitive part of teaching, but the motivational, affective part of teaching. You are a human being with emotions, motivations, okay? And those are going to kind of affect what your identity as a teacher is. So, for one thing, through teaching practice, you can reflect on what do you think language is. I think language is a system of rules. Okay, so I must teach them grammar. Okay, or I believe that language is a communicative tool, so I must teach my students how to communicate in the language. Okay, beliefs about learning. I know everything. My students know nothing. I will come in here. I will give a lesson, and they will know everything. Okay, great. I wish it was. It would be really easy, wouldn't it? Okay. Or I believe that students can learn from each other. They learn by doing. Okay, that's another way. Also teaching as well. What do I believe teaching? So by observing different teachers, they can make connections with their past experiences when they were students, make connections with what they've learned on campus, and then connect it with what's actually happening in the classroom now. Okay, so that's a very important part of their identity development. They can reflect on their career motivations. Why do I want to become a teacher? Okay, what are my motivations? Is it because I want to have a status in society? Okay, which is maybe, you know. Do I want to be a teacher because it's a permanent job and I can get my retirement? Okay, do I want to be a teacher because I want to make a difference to society? What are my motivations? Why am I doing this? So when you're in the classroom, you start thinking about that. What are my teachers' motivations? How do they fit in with mine? Possible selves, okay, getting theoretical here. The practicum environment is an amazing situation for looking, okay, I'm not a teacher now, here's a real teacher. Do I want to be like that? Is this teacher what I hope to be? Is this kind of teacher what I fear being? Okay, we have possible says we think of ourselves in the future. What do I want to be doing? What kind of teacher do I want to be? What kind of teacher don't I want to be? Okay, and these are constantly in our mind as we're observing and as we're teaching as well. Okay, very, very important. These are part of our identity. Okay, if I want to be this kind of teacher, what do I have to do? Okay, if I want to avoid being this kind of teacher, what do I have to do? Efficacy beliefs as well. How well can I do this? How well do you think can I do time management? How well can I manage the classroom? Now, some interesting, Anna Hoca in some of her research has shown that before practicum, prospective teachers think, yeah, I can do this, yeah, I can do that. High efficacy beliefs right up there, great. Then they go into the teaching practicum thing and it's like, okay, they're getting, you know, from all sorts of sides. And efficacy beliefs, they take a rocket down, okay? Very important. Okay, teaching specific hopes, okay, with Altay Hoca. This is what we're doing at the moment. Hope, okay, hope. You've got to have, I mean, teaching is about the future. Okay, we teach future generations. We teach students because we want our future to be in a certain way. Okay, our general future, also our future as English language teaching. Okay, for future, we've got to have some kind of hope. Now, hope doesn't mean sort of sitting right, God, I hope I will have fantastic students this year. I hope, okay. It doesn't mean sitting around just hoping, okay, waiting it for it to come. If you hope for something, then you've got to get up and do something. Okay, you've got to actually act. Okay, don't be like Hamlet thinking all the time. Do something. Okay, Teaching specific hopes, not just generally being hopeful, but being hopeful about all sorts of things, being hopeful about being able to ensure student achievement, being able to use effective teaching strategies, okay, being hopeful about increasing motivation. Okay, teaching specific hopes are very, very important, and we've shown statistically that there's a very good, strong model here. Okay, hope is important. It's not a romantic idea. Because I know lots of teachers will say, ya ama hocam ya, yani olmuyor işte. Ya böyle polyanlı şeyler yapmayın hocam ya. Okay, this isn't. You have to have a little. You have to have hope. Okay, you can't do this without hope. Is teaching. I mean, about a couple of weeks ago, it was Hasan Ali Yücel's anniversary of his death, and there was a short film, Yücel'in Çiçekleri. Maybe some of you have seen that. Look at those difficult circumstances that those teachers went out into. Without hope, that would have been completely impossible, wouldn't it? You've got to have the hope, you've got to do that sort of things, okay? Another thing is resilience. Okay, I'm not saying it's easy out there. Okay, it's not. Okay, teachers, as you all know, there's lots of stress factors. Teachers get burnt out. Teachers have problems, well-being problems. Okay, psychological and health problems. Okay, teachers need resilience. Okay, so with hope together, how can I? Okay, it's not going to be an easy job. Okay, but I can do this. I need to be resilient. I shouldn't give up. Okay, that's another very important aspect. Okay, so when you go into the reality of teaching, you see what it's really like, then, okay, you get an idea, you have to develop these ideas as well. So all these parts then are kind of aspects that will lead you to developing your teacher identity. And this is going to be, as Kenan Hoca says, everybody's identity is going to be completely different, and it has to be. Okay, we are different. That's what makes teaching, you know, we can't be robots. That's what makes teaching so special. Okay, teacher educators. Yeah, we don't just sit around saying, do this, do that, you should be doing this. We actually are part of this process. We also learn from it as well. That I want to give you a few examples about this. So the teacher educator here, for one thing, because we're at a university, we're also engaged in research. Okay, so we see what's being done on an international field. We see what's being done locally. We develop our own research and provide new input, which we hope informs policymakers. Okay, so whenever we come up with some kind of academic article, we write at the end, the implication for policymakers are da-da-da-da. Okay, so that's what our aim is. So all these changes in policy recently that Gölge Hoca talked about has been the result of collaboration with academics. Okay, so that's another thing here. So, and also policymakers are going to interact with the teacher educator as well. But also, not just our own pre-service teachers, but also teachers in the classroom as well. We can learn a lot from practicum experience as well. Sumru Hoca talked about that just there, just before. When we go into the, we don't have a chance, maybe some of us have teaching backgrounds, maybe some of us don't. Okay, I've got teaching background, but I don't have teaching background in Turkey, in state schools. Okay, whatever. So we actually go in there and see what happens. So as a teacher educator, when I go to observe, I like to observe, and then what I reflect on there, bring it back into my campus-based courses. Okay, so what I observe, I like to add into the content of what I'm doing up on the campus. Okay, that's very, very important. You can see all sorts of things going on. It's never ideal. I mean, you can, again, you've got to have your growth mindset here. As a teacher educator, for example, I'll give you two examples. Last year, because of this formation, pedagogical formation program thingy, I was given a group of Turkish language and literature prospective teachers to observe. Okay, so reaction one. Ama ya ben de ne işim var ya yabancı dil hocası burada ne işi var ya üf yani it's a waste of my time, why am I doing this, I'm an English person, why should I go to that's one mindset. The other one's like okay, let me go in and see this, what's going on, how do people teach Turkish here? Okay, it was a really good opportunity for me to actually see how Turkish is taught. Okay, it's a good idea because, okay, I learned Turkish by being drowned in it, basically. But I like to see how the first language is being taught. So when I went to observe these classes, the literature classes were great, but the language classes were, it was like, özne, nesne, bilmem ne, whatever, okay? And it was dry, the teacher was bored, and the students were bored. Okay, and I thought, is this maybe how we're trying to teach English? You know, is this being taught Turkish in this way, trying to affect how we do? So that was an amazing opportunity for me to observe a different field, but I still managed to learn from it as an English language teacher educator. Okay, it wasn't a waste of time for me. Okay, last term I even went to observe philosophy teachers. Wow, yani. Erdim hocam yani. Okay, I'm up there. Okay. Seriously though, it was in, for example, in a what do you call the vocational high school. Okay, so one of the well, everybody says that their school is the worst vocational high school in Bursa, but this is one of them. But it's really different to see these kind of students, and also to see how much the students were actually joining in. When they were interested in lesson, they were joining in. How unfair we are onto these vocational high school students. Okay, I think we sort of tend to paint them with the same brush, and you know. Okay, so this is again teacher educators taking part actively in the practicum process informs us of what is actually going on in real life, because ours isn't really real life up here. Okay, okay, so that's it. How are we doing for time, by the way? My watch is broken. Yeah, okay, so that's it. Those are the references to show that I haven't been making this up, or I didn't dream about it last night or anything. And those are my contact details. Okay, if you keep writing Bursa, it will find me. Okay, every line you can put a Bursa on it and it will get there. Okay, so thank you very much for listening. Any questions? Yes, Lale. That's a good question, actually. I don't know, you know, I'm not aware of it. I think what happens is, I think we have lots of things going on. So what I notice is like, because when I first started doing this kind of work, I wanted to be my 16-year-old self when I was preparing for O-levels, okay, which is, you don't have anything to do, you just have to sit there and study. Okay, and that was great. I went to the library, I did that, and that's all I had to do. But when you're at this age, you can't do that. And that was a huge conflict for me. So what I developed now, this multitasking, everything here, I've got all sorts of, maybe Sherlock will say mind palaces, I don't want to be too flashy about it, but I've got, for example, I've got this presentation going on here in the back while I'm teaching. Okay, so it's going on in the background there. Okay, so while I'm preparing for lessons, this is going on here. While I'm doing this, I connect it to my lesson, so everything's connected to each other. Okay, and Pomodoro technique, I advise it, 25 minutes of doing something, 5 minutes of walking around, 25 minutes of doing something else. So it means I look like I've got attention deficiency disorder, but yeah, you do it. It's fun, I enjoy it. Yes, okay. Yes, okay. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Amanda Hoca, for this amazing speech. Okay, now we will have a 15-minute coffee break again, but please, since we're going to have a raffle at the end of this seminar, please go and take your numbers for the raffle from the registration. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy.
gave it to that friend, right? Okay, for the ones who didn't, you can give it to him, half of the paper. Okay. Huh? They're raising. Huh. Raise your hands if you haven't give the half of your ticket to this friend. Huh. Okay, and for the ones that hasn't got any paper, this friend gives the papers for the raffle. The numbers. Okay, so I think everyone got their numbers. In this session, Professor Dr. Dinçay Köksal will be on stage. I'd like to introduce him. Dinçay Köksal graduated from ELT Department of Faculty of Education at 19 Mayıs University in Samsun in 1984 and worked as teacher in secondary schools for 3 years. Then he started his MA in Gazi University in 1987 and completed it in 1990. He finished his doctoral study in the same university in 1994. He also worked as lecturer in ELT Department of Gazi Faculty of Education for 7 years and gave advanced translation courses in the Turkish Military Academy. He worked as an instructor and assistant professor in Abant İzzet Baysal University for 18 months. In December 1995, he started to work in Çanakkale 18 Mart University. Since then, he has been teaching such courses as translation, testing and evaluation in English language education, teaching English to young learners in BA and MA programs, philosophy of educational research in PhD program. He founded Foreign Language Education Research and Practice Center in that university in 1996. He organized many international conferences, international ELT research conferences. He also founded Educational Research Association in Turkey in 2008. He coordinated one European lingual project locally as a partner called European Awareness and Intercomprehension. He is now a local coordinator of another project called Rethinking. He has many articles published in journals and papers presented at international conferences and congresses. He is the author of a book on teaching translation and co-author of a book on intercultural communication and the editor of 2 books. Now he's going to deliver his speech called Practicum in Practice, Pragmatic Approach. Please welcome Professor Dr. Dinçay Köksal.
Okay, I think you all understand how old I am from this long introduction, yes? So it's a long way. Teaching is a long way. Teaching takes time. Being teachers takes time. But before express my thanks to the organizers of this seminar. I'd like to express my gratitude and deepest thanks to İzzet Baysal. Okay? He is the biggest man in Turkey. And as in the introduction, I worked here for almost 2 years. That time I worked in the department of ELT, but no students. We are only 2 lecturers doing PhD. And later we scattered. One to Middle East Technical University, Ziya, and I went to Çanakkale 18 Mart University. And when working here, we didn't have rooms. We didn't have tables. Dinçay remembers those days. Who comes first in the morning? Take a chair, not comfortable chairs you sit today, and from the canteen, yes, wooden chairs and wooden table, and spent 8 hours waiting the sunset. Okay, in the morning, Gölge Seferoğlu talked about mindset and skill set. I hope I'll finish my presentation before the sunset. Okay, thank you for coming. And I changed the topic. Maybe it will be the title of a book we are planning to write of course, there will be authors in this book, but practical, pragmatic, practicum in teacher education. Practical, yes, pragmatic, practicum. What does it mean? Nothing. It works? Sorry. Which way? Close? Gözler görmüyor. İlerlemek için şu. Okay. Maybe similar things we talk about in the morning. You see, you are a practice teacher, yes? At some point, I have to leave you alone with them. First, I'd like to talk about my own experience. When I was a student, maybe like this practice teacher, not student teacher, whatever you call, doesn't matter. 14 weeks in 19 Mayıs Lisesi in Samsun. And I don't remember anything about my practice. Why? Because there was no system that time. Just go to schools and pretend to be observing your teacher. But you don't have any observation checklist or something. What are you observing? We don't know. And we were expected to just prepare lesson plans, and maybe if the teacher have time and allow you to teach 2 or 3 hours in that classroom. Okay. And then I became teacher. I went to Sayınbeyli, Adana Sayınbeyli Lisesi, and I went to school. There was no classroom. There was no classroom because only children of the, what you say, state officials taking English courses, were taking English courses, and there were no classroom for them. Okay? And the rest of the school learning French. Those days, French was dominant in Turkey, not all over the Turkey, but some parts of Turkey. And then I found the classroom. I changed my school. I went to Adana Anadolu Lisesi. But before that, we had in-service training course because in Sayınbeyli, I couldn't perform my profession. I performed what? Turkish folk music chorus, okay? I was the chef of this chorus. I'm going to sing you at the end of this presentation. And I took courses, in-service training courses in Boğaziçi University. I saw the building. I stayed 45 days. And I was very lucky because teachers giving in-service training courses from different parts of the English-speaking world, yes. New Zealand, Australia, Scottish, Irish, yes. We practice Black English in the campus. We call Black English. And the first day, I couldn't understand even a word when a Scottish teacher speaking or Irish teacher speaking. I graduated from the ELT department, but I don't understand people speaking English. It was a shame for us, yes? And I am a teacher. What I am going to teach is Aydan, Professor Aydan said in the morning, what I am going to teach. You are going to teach what you don't know, okay? And we had really very nice courses, how to use technology. That time technology, of course, was just the video. Video was very new in Turkey those days. And many techniques, teaching all skills. And I was very happy. I had many documents. And those days, during the in-service training course, Ministry of Authorities there said, if you pass the proficiency test and Also, you are going to teach a lesson. If you succeed, we are going to send you 1 month holiday to UK and 1 month, 9 months curriculum development and teaching methodology course in UK, and we are going to send you to Anadolu Lisesi. And those days, Anadolu Lisesi was Anadolu Lisesi. Okay? If you put the names on the tables, it is not Anadolu Lisesi. Okay, I didn't believe. I thought they tried to encourage us to study there. But on the way, of course, I was happy. But later, I remembered I don't have a class to use these techniques and methodology or technology, whatever I was equipped during this in-service training course. And in 10 days, a letter came from the Ministry of Education. Which Anadolu Lisesi do you want to work? I said, I want to work in Adana Anadolu Lisesi. And about 2 weeks, I was in Adana. I went to Adana, and the teacher of prep class resigned because they opened a private school on the way to Tarsus. And also he was the owner of ABC bookstore in Adana. But the students didn't have a teacher. And I went to the director, Müdür Efendi, of the school. I said, I want to take my class. He said, no, go to that teacher's classroom and observe her. I observed almost 2 weeks, maybe more than 2 weeks, and I went back to the Müdür Bey. I want my class. Because for prep class, it was very crowded. 50 students were in that classroom, and 25 students, normally 20 students in each class, but it was very crowded. It was not convenient for prep English classes. And he said again, okay, go to that lady's class and observe her. And then I was madman, and I said, I want my class. I am here because I know this. Yes, I know what to do in the school, and I know my profession. Okay, I was self-confident because of this in-service training, but before that, no confidence. So for self-confidence, you need self-development, okay, professional development, and you must make use of every occasion. But you have to find your opportunities yourself. It is metacognitive, strategies. We tell our learners, students, please use these strategies. These are metacognitive. Of course, they are not so interested what strategies they are, but of course, practicing is important. Practicing is cognitive strategy, but finding ways to practice, is metacognitive strategy. So we must find our ways of developing our career, profession. Okay, then I started to teach, and it was, for me, it was the best class, I think, in my teaching life. Okay. Almost everyone in the field of education thinks the most important and relevant part of the undergraduate program is student teaching of the practicum. But the emphasis on the practicum is exaggerated, not exaggerated, sometimes exaggerated, and ultimately misguided. We can't guide our teacher students at schools, okay? They spend their time in the school canteens. Most of the schools do not behave them as their colleagues at schools. And practicum as such is not a problem. Problem is the exaggerated emphasis put on it in the preparation of future teachers. Field experience need not be abolished from teacher preparation, but we should consider the case for reducing it. Okay? I can understand this, field experience, okul deneyimi. What we do in okul deneyimi? Everybody pretends to be doing something, yes? What does it mean? Because our student teachers have a long history of school experience, because they come from the schools. They know the school systems, yes? Just 1 year before. Of course, you can say that system often changes, but not so often change, yes? As Aydan Hoca said in the morning, still, if we are using grammar translation method, nothing changed. So, what are we going to observe at school? Yes? You can't learn something by watching it, observing it all the time. You must do it, yes? If you want to swim, you must swim. I say this, but I can't dare to swim still. Okay? You must do it. Those that would the practicum continue dominate teacher education are invited to contend with some of the following considerations. Biraz hızlı geçeceğim. Sorry. And this is the case context in Turkey. You see, almost every 5 years we change the curricula, or teacher training curricula, and also ministry changed the curricula. They say we updated or revised it, but they just changed the year, date of the revision, but content is the same, almost the same, maybe some little. And no need to read these parts, okay? And we had a research in Malatya together with Gülten, and 2 questions, main questions. What have student teachers learned through their teaching practicum? What are the challenges they have experienced? And the first table, you see 18 codes were generated, and those codes were gathered under 2 themes, as can be seen in the table, you see? And what student teachers learned through their practicum, and also student teachers' attainments in relation to pedagogical strategies, student teachers' attainments in relation to developing professional identity and developing positive feelings. Okay. No need to read all this because I'm going to leave this slides here. Also this, you can also read there the whole context, because there are also theoretical background of this study, but I skipped it because of this time limit. And attainments about this, giving feedback is very important. Okay, the students feelings. While observing class, I noticed that students often made many errors each time. The teacher taught new things. At those moments, I was wondering why the students made so many errors, even though they were just taught the subject. Learning new things is not easy, of course, and you become aware of this in the real classroom while teaching something new. Okay. Another one. If I see student teachers did not have admiration for cooperating teachers all the time. They also reflected some inadequacies in classrooms relying on their theoretical knowledge. This might be quite favorable on behalf of efficiency of teaching experience, for instance, in the classroom in her reflection. In fact, not too many, but I can say there were a few students who were rather active and energetic in the classroom. They were constantly moving and getting things on the ground, moving back to the front in their desk and moving their arms and legs all the time. They were not disturbing anyone, but it was certain that they were not enjoying at all. While watching them, I thought there was something missing in the class. Considering different learning styles and using them, I thought of sharing my opinion with my cooperating teacher, but I didn't mean to be misunderstood by her, okay? Misunderstood by your cooperating teachers at schools, maybe sometimes with your university teacher, lecturer. Okay, I'm not going to read all. I could never imagine that students could be enthusiastic and willing about a competition. The teacher was holding it in the last lesson of the week in each class. At the end of the course, they were often asked about the new language structures and new words, and even the reading and listening activities which were learned through that week. Usually the first finger lifters were given priority to reply. The teacher was scoring. The award was to be announced as the first, second, third winners of the week on the bulletin boards of the class. They also were appreciated by teachers and got a huge applause from their friends. Yes. All this was free, but certainly works as a real motivator, increasing motivation and developing positive feelings. Another student, during this time, each of us contribution to the Practicum process prepared lesson plans. In fact, we have examined and prepared many lesson plans in the faculty. To me, preparing a lesson plan here was a very different. This time, I was like writing a personal prescription. I mean, in the lesson plans at school, we need to consider many invisible things. For instance, I had to find some extra activities or lesson plans to make my job easier in the classroom. This experience taught me to prepare lesson plans special to students. Unfortunately, in Turkey, many teachers use the lesson plans, ready-made, yes, teacher-made lesson plans, just change the names of the schools and also the name of the teacher. Also, we do the same in the exams, yes, just change the titles of the school and also the name of the teacher, and at the bottom, good luck. Good luck, everybody. Okay? Classroom-specific lesson plans, student-specific lesson plans should be prepared. Okay. I think there are many stories. Critical eye confessed that this process showed her how inadequate she was about reviving the lesson. Yes, she later added that she needed to develop interesting materials, various activities, enjoyable games to attract the attention of students, but she was rather inexperienced about that and decided to get help from her cooperative teacher. Okay, inexperienced. Okay, I told my story, you remember Anadolu Lisesi. I learned at the end of the term why the didn't allow me to teach that class, because of the parents, you know. Parents told the director that this Kalov, you know, Kalov, in nature, inexperienced guy is going to teach our children. Don't allow him to teach in this class, okay? We are going to pay the teacher's salary. Please find us a teacher outside the school, okay? Yes, that director retired 3 years ago. Yes, indispensable man in Adana. Okay, and the second theme, student teachers' attainment in relation to developing professional identity. Student teachers' reflections indicated through teaching practicum process by observing the teachers and by being in school with the other teachers were developed some professional attitudes besides developing some general professional skills. In this respect, one student teacher said, not only was our cooperative teacher, but all the teachers in school were pretty good to us. That is why I loved spending time at school. In our school, there was one older teacher. When the teachers complained about the students in the break, she usually gave them one constructive advice. Despite her stern expression on her face, her patience and tolerance towards students greatly impressed us, sort of me. Also, your tolerance and patience impressed us as the speakers of this seminar. Because still you are trying to listen to us, yes? You are very patient. Okay, two important characteristics of a good teacher, to be patient and to be tolerant. You have these characteristics, so we are hopeful for our future in education. Okay, another notable experience was mentioned by teacher earlier. When we first went to school, I was too shy to enter the teacher's room, sit with the teachers, and even drink tea. I've overcome it with the help and support of my cooperating teacher. I was really happy to come out of the class, go to the teacher's room, and drink tea. While listening to teachers, I felt like a real teacher. Of course, not all the schools like this, yes. And about 1 month ago, I took my students to this practice school, and the teacher ordered tea for me, but not for my students. Okay, they just waiting for like this soldiers, yes. Okay, when we first went to school, okay, this part, sorry. Developing positive feelings, you see the example. My voice trembled in my first lesson. In fact, my friends said I shuddered. Of course, the stress and anxiety weren't just my problem. We all had them. We were too anxious because we weren't trained as teachers at our faculties, English language and literature. These are the students of English literature, language and literature department, having pedagogic formation courses, not ELT department students, okay? And however, over time, we all started to feel more comfortable. It was certainly a great help of teachers at school and our cooperating teacher. Okay. And the second question, what are the challenges they have experienced? And challenges experienced by student teachers in relation to classroom management, because it's very important to manage the classroom. And challenges experienced by student teachers in relation to time management, challenges experienced by student teachers in relation to mixed ability classes, and challenges experienced student teachers by student teachers in relation to difficulties with using technology. No technology in most of our schools in the classrooms, yes? We don't have interactive boards or smart boards at schools. Okay, but from the slides we are trying to give our technology and materials development courses. So it's very challenging problem. Okay, and related to this one, the problem that pushed me the most in class was talkative students who were constantly speaking. In addition, there was a constant gabble that really bothered me. I looked at their eyes to imply them to be quiet, but that didn't work. It was in the past, yes. I had to warn the same students many times. It would certainly be easier to control if class was not so crowded. Okay. Again, it was really annoying, and I could not know what to do. We were doing a listening activity, and the text was relatively a long one. Only a few of the students could sit in silence and listen to the whole text. I felt desperate. Okay. timing problem. Yes, problem was that everything was not running as planned. Still, we need planning. Of course, it will not work as it planned. The time we thought to be sufficient was never enough. The students were continuously asking questions, and something distracting was happening in each class. Okay. It is really hard to be a perfect teacher, even if you want. Even if you plan everything, you can't interfere in some things. Some students are at the level that they should really be in that class, whereas others can be at a level that should never be there. So, stories continue this way. I didn't know, I was so awkward in using technology. We wasted some time in adjusting the smart boards. Smart board is a great problem, yes, for students. Even at universities, as teacher educators do not know how to use smart board, and they think it is like blackboard. Not blackboard, of course, in the sense whiteboard. Okay, writing on it. Okay, discussion is very long. I will get permission from Aydan. Hocam, continue? Yes? We have time? Sunset, still the sun didn't set? Okay. We'll have time to sing, yes. Okay, the findings. In terms of developing pedagogical strategies, teacher identity and positive feelings towards teaching. And the study revealed teaching experiences during the practicum process brought awareness to students, teachers about their own strengths and weaknesses of teaching. It also caused a change in their beliefs and attitudes towards their capabilities. These attitudes may be positive and sometimes, of course, may be negative. As supported by Tomlinson, when student teachers came to their practice schools, they have their habits, values, emotions, attitudes about teaching. It would be awkward to expect their mind to be a tabula rasa for teaching as suggested by Weston. As social agents, they tend to bring their socio-cultural realities, experiences related to teaching and learning process to pedagogical setting. However, the expectation from the practicum was to raise the awareness of students, teachers about their rights and wrongs about teaching. The word raise, I taught the saying in the morning. Social interaction, just skipping. Practicing teaching in authentic classroom. Are our classrooms authentic? Do you think so? No. Okay. But we try, yes? Try to make them authentic. We. A few years. Just a few years. Okay, not all, but we expect to find authentic classrooms to teach. Okay, interacting with the real students allowed the student teachers to perceive themselves as teachers. Okay, in the at schools we have micro-teaching. Yes, it's not an authentic teaching. Okay, not authentic. You must go to the schools. Of course, sometimes bad schools. Do we have bad schools, or bad teachers, or bad students? Or is it right to use the word bad? Instead of bad, what can we say? We'll see. Okay, perceptions, self-perceptions of change in the self-perception of student teachers who are mainly interacting with the experienced teachers. What do we mean, experienced teachers? Who are experienced, who are not? Who are educated, who are not? This is a concern of philosophy in education, okay? We are not going to discuss the philosophy of education in this session. Okay, acting like a teacher. In the morning, we said thinking, feeling, acting. Yes, thinking as a teacher, feeling as a teacher, acting as a teacher. And you remember from also philosophy, I think, therefore I exist. Yes. Later, the second dimension, I think, I feel, therefore I exist. And I feel, I think, I feel, I act, therefore I exist. Okay. First group, teacher is seen as subject matter expert providing knowledge and skill in the subject. The second group, teacher is a pedagogical expert supporting people's development socially, emotionally, and morally. In the third and last, the teacher is seen as a tactical expert evaluating instructional processes. Okay, let's go. And also you see the references from our own fields. I'm going to discuss this part, not the others. Just talk a few things about this one. You know, in Turkey we teacher strategy plan, yes, including the years 2017 and 2023. Okay, and the action plan, 7th action plan for teacher training. You see, I'm going to read it in Turkish. Öğretmenlik uygulamalarının sertifika sahibi öğretmenlerle yürütülmesi. Who has certificates in this salon? There are teachers of English acting now, acting as a teacher. Yes, you are a teacher. Do you have a certificate to do this task as a mentor, teacher at school? Huh? No? You have certificates? Just asking because the what? Action plan plans to give certificates to all teachers who are going to accept practice as teachers, okay? Student teachers. So, this is the what? Action plan. Okullardaki öğretmenlik uygulamasına rehberlik edecek yönetici ve öğretmenlere öğretmen yeterlilikleri çerçevesinde nitelikleri MEP tarafından tanımlanmış. Uygulama koordinatörü öğretmeni, eğitimi ve sertifikasını vermek, bu uygulamaları gerekli sertifikaya sahip deneyimli öğretmenler tarafından yürütmek. Okay. I think we have only one teacher in the salon, okay? And you don't have such a certificate, okay? And it would be realized till the end of year 2018. Now we are in 2019. So, no action on the paper. The problem is everything remains on the paper, okay? But we expect the things to be done by others. We must do this task, yes? Because we are responsible. We are responsible as a university to train teachers, okay? Not only candidate teachers or student teachers, practicum teachers, but also our learners have to. So, you see, gösterge. Hukuki ve idari düzenlemenin tanımlanması. Was it defined? No. Öğretmenlik uygulamasına rehberlik eden yönetici ve öğretmenlerden sertifikalı olanların sayısının toplam sayıya oranı. Okay. Yönetici. At schools, directors. Do directors have such a certificate? No. Okay. So, action. We need reaction to the action. Okay? We react to action. Okay. Is it practical? Action. Pragmatic? No. Everyone learns a little by doing in many endeavors, including teaching. Yes, everyone. The emphasis on student teaching in teacher education is related to disagreements about the role of theory and practice. Still, we are discussing what? The gap between theory and practice. But we claim that we try to put the theory into practice in our methodology courses. Yes? Do we? We do. But so, why are we claiming what? Sorry, I missed the word. Okay, why we are complaining about not being able to put the theory into practice? And we are discussing still in the Congress, and in many Congress, the title is the gap between theory and practice. Whatever the area or field of study, doesn't matter. We're still trying to bridge the gap between the theory and practice. Can we bridge? No. So what can we do? We don't need bridge. It means that we don't need bridge. Yes? We need what? We need action. Okay. The dichotomy, content and method, principle and procedure, thought and action in education. We must relate them to each other. Okay. Based on the assumption that all and most of the schools are good. Yes? Lessons learned by student teachers are educative. This, of course, is not true. By sometimes sending students for long periods to bad schools. Bad schools. Ideal schools. We have ideal schools. Okay, you see, uninterrupted public instruction in educational institutions our students have. They have school experience, yes, real experience. But they pretend to be seeing the system for the first time. Everybody is pretending to be doing something. Theater, okay? Yes, this is the last one, you see. I feel hopeless. There is nothing single response from the entire class. Why? Oh, don't feel bad. There will be days when you feel like champ, and other times when you feel like you have failed completely. Okay, thank you for listening. Now time to sing. Ne söyleyelim? Evet, son kapanış. Çiçek istemiyorum. Çekiliş. Evet. Efendim? Tamam, ne söyleyelim? Bir türkü söyleyeyim ben. Zaten en çok. Tamam. Yani genelde ağır takılırım ama teşekkür ederim. Pardon, kamera. Teşekkür ederiz. Sağ olun. Bu da çaklat. Bolu çaklat değil mi? Bol çiğ.
Şunu alayım mı?
Alma, türkü söyleyeceğiz ya. Koysana onu.
Buyurun.
Şaka mı yapıyorum zannediyorsun?
Buyurun hocam.
Hı, tamam. Şimdi arkadaşımız İstanbul'da kurstaydı. Daha doğrusu Selami Aydan hocamızın yaptığı TÜBİTAK projesinde bir arkadaşımız daha vardı orada. Evet. Çok kısa gördük ama etkili bir seminerdi. Evet. O zaman ne söylüyoruz? Kalenin dibinde taş ben olaydım. Olur mu? En hareketlisi bu yani. Daha isterseniz ağır da söylerim. Evet. Tamam. Tamam. Başlıyorum. İlk defa mikrofonsuz söyleyeceğim. Yani elimde. Kalenin dibinde taş ben olaydım. Kalenin dibinde taş ben olaydım. Gelene geçene geçene geçene bala yoldaş olaydım. Gelene geçene geçene geçene bala yoldaş olaydım. Ablası güzel eş ben olaydım. Bacısı güzel eş ben olaydım. Kalk gidek meyhana hanaya, çay hana hanaya, meyhana hanaya, bala gönlüm eğlensin. Yarın hakkın divanında, divanında, divanında doğru da söylersin. Kalk gidek meyhana hanaya, çay hana hanaya, meyhana hanaya, bala gönlüm eğlensin. Yarın hakkın divanında, divanında, divanında doğru da söylersin. Kalenin dibinde üç ağaç incir, kalenin dibinde üç ağaç incir. Elimde kelepçe, kelepçe, kelepçe, boynumda zincir. Elimde kelepçe, kelepçe, kelepçe, boynumda zincir. Zinciri çok sallama, her yanım incir. Zinciri çok sallama, her yanım incir. Kalk gidek meyhana hanaya, çay hana hanaya, meyhana hanaya, bala gönlüm eğlensin. Yarın hakkın divanında, divanında, divanında doğru da söylersin. Kalk gidek meyhana hanaya, çay hana hanaya, meyhana hanaya, bala gönlüm eğlensin. Yarın hakkın divanında, divanında, divanında doğru da söylersin. Evet. Evet arkadaşlar, ben Sedat hocamıza, Anıl hocamıza ve tabii burada emeği geçen tüm öğrenci arkadaşlara, destek veren Amerikan Dil Ofisi'ne çok teşekkür ederim. Tabii yine destek veren başka kurum kuruluşlar da vardır. Hepsine ayrı ayrı enişten teşekkürlerimi ifade etmek istiyorum. İyi ki geldiniz, iyi ki varsınız. Teşekkür ediyoruz. Bir dahaki sefere başka Türk'ü. Bugünlük bu kadar yeter. Evet. Şimdi alabiliriz.
Teşekkür ederiz hocam.
Neyden?
Evet.
Bir iki ses. Neresi sakıncalıydı hocam? Yok, sakınca yok ya. Yok, yok. Evet. Ne anladığınıza bağlı kelimelerden.
Now I'm going to invite Dr. Anıl Rakıcıoğlu Söylemez to deliver the closing remarks.
I would like to thank our invited speakers for coming to our seminar. It was an honor and pleasure to have you here. And I would like to thank you, all of you, for participating and spending your time here at our seminar. Before we continue with our raffle, I would like to thank my wonderful seminar team, and I would like all of them to stand up, please, for those of you who participated and who helped us today, throughout the day. Please stand up, and I would like to have you a big applause, and that was wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Before we continue with the raffle, thank you so much. We have an evaluation that we would like you to give some feedback to us both about our seminar and about the presentations that we have attended, but I don't know how to do it. I need some help. Esma'cığım, how can I just this?
Okay. Okay. Yes, this one.
F5.
Şunu değiştirmemiz. Yes. This one.
Right, okay. With this QR code, could you please just, or write the URL address given there, just write the address or have your very smartphones to read the QR code on the screen to give us some feedback about this seminar. And there are three things that we are asking. The first one is that which sessions you attended. The second one is that what do you think about the seminar in general, and what kind of feedback that you would like to give to our presenters today, advantages, disadvantages, the things that you liked the most. Please give us some feedback to have make our seminars more effective for the future days. How can I check Well, you can maybe type the URL address to your browser. More explanation?
Okay, for the QR code, if you would like to just scan the code and download the link, you will need a QR code reader application. If you have that application, it works. This QR code works. But if you don't have that kind of application, you don't have to search for a new application just right now. But you can just type the web address. It's a very short address. If you write it on a web browser, it can be on Google Chrome, Opera, Firefox, I don't know which one you are using. When you type this address, you will see the survey. And after that, you will just click on submit button.
Okay, so now we're going to continue with raffle. As you can see, we have 5 INGET annual memberships, 5 TESOL global memberships, and 2 TESOL Turkey memberships. So let's start.
Okay, first of all, when I call your number, please come to the stage so I can let you choose one of these envelopes and you will decide which one you will get.
So,
Number 528. 528. Not here? Please come to the stage, yeah. 528. Okay, come on. Yes, applause, please.
yes.
Yeah. Just take one.
This one.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So, what did you get as the memberships?
Of course, it's just inside.
Okay, Inget.
Ingot.
Okay, so are you 4 years?
Fourth.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you take this and go to Seferoğlu, please, so you can register your name?
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, the next number. Number 569. 569. Please come to the stage. Anybody? Not here? Okay. Number 510. No,
I'm gonna
no
mix-
teacher. We are terribly sorry, my teacher.
Okay, I choose. Okay, I choose one.
Okay, 280. 280. Please come to the stage.
280. Which one?
Okay,
Okay, 280 now. 280. Okay. Kağıtlardan birini.
no? Kaç numara? Yeah, come on. Why don't you say anything? Say something. I'm coming. Say, hey. Okay. Here, please.
Okay. Let's see if it's Inget.
Okay, open it, please.
Tell.
Okay,
Okay.
TESOL. Okay.
TESOL Turkey.
Just pull one out. Seç bir tane hadi. Okay. Okay, please don't be mad, but 514.
514?
514, anybody? No?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, come on.
Oh,
Come to the stage,
okay.
please.
Efendim? İleride.
Okay.
Inget 4. sınıf.
Okay, next one. 657. 657.
Yes.
Anybody? Okay, we have a winner. No applause? Thank you.
Yapayım. Efendim? Okay, TESOL Global. Congratulations.
Okay, next number. 148. 148. Anybody?
No one?
Nope.
Okay, another one.
Yeah, come on. Come on up, please.
TESOL Global.
Yes, TESOL Global. Oraya bakma, buraya bak. Okay, number 511. 511. Okay, we have a winner. Come on up.
Okay. TESOL Global again.
Okay, next number. 603. 603. Anybody? Can I see a hand? Yeah, okay, we have a winner. Nice.
TESOL Global Membership.
Okay, nice. $409. 409. Any hands? No? Nobody? Is she coming here? No, she's not. Okay, let's take another one.
Geliyor mu?
Geliyor mu? Kim geliyor?
Okay.
Run.
Okay.
Okay, TESOL
TESOL
Global.
Global.
Nice. Okay. 296. 296. Come on up.
Okay. Engage Membership.
Nice, okay. 215. Come on up.
Engage Membership.
Okay, the next lucky one. 411. 411. Yes, come on.
TESOL Turkey membership.
Okay, and the last person for Inged, 449.
It's me.
It's you?
Last one.
Yeah, it's the last one. Okay, congratulations everybody, and thank you for participating. Please have a nice day.